my great friend, Pancho Moler. Man, I'm so excited to have you on.
Yeah.
This is, let me just set it up how you and I met. So I was doing, I was putting together a series called
A pilot, right?
called
Yeah.
Serial Killer's Checklist. And my buddy Robert Russler, who's a friend of the show, I said, hey man, I'm looking for somebody to play this part, and he said, I know a guy, and he goes, he's a little person. I go, great, right? And I go, but can he act? And he goes, this dude's an actor. He's a great actor.
Nice.
And then you came down and we shot some things and put some stuff together, and you were fantastic.
And what was the thing that like let you know that you're like, oh, this guy's an actor? Remember when I was like, hey, could I get like a pillow? So fucking diva. What a piece of shit.
So yeah, I go, I need you to lay down on the ground outside. It's just in this driveway of this tattoo shop, just to get and you started to get down, and all of a sudden you stopped. You go, can I get like something for the back of my head? And I'm like, for what? You didn't want to lay your head.
You're like, what a pussy.
Yeah. I go, this dude's an actor. You need a stunt double.
Yeah. Can I get a stunt double to lay down there for me? Yeah. Like, where's the stand-in?
But you know, it's funny though, but you're a real actor, and Robert's told me that, and you've got, like, I made a promo video this morning, and you've got some great credits.
Yeah, no, I've done quite a bit. I've been very fortunate and with doing that, and also coming from like a skateboard background, which is like so macho, or it used to be. It still is, but it was more like, if you don't try it, you're a pussy. Now it's like everybody's skateboarding because there's just skate parks in every town.
Yeah.
You know, like instead of getting dropped off at the Marshall's curb, you're getting dropped off at a skate park that's like an actual training facility. Like, and kids are getting really good. But with that said, like, with skateboarding, and then going into like acting.
But you wait, because you didn't say, and I didn't set this up either, but you were a professional skateboarder.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, the first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the first one.
The first little person's professional skateboarder.
Which is not that big of a deal because there was only two of us.
You and Wee Man, let me guess.
It's not huge.
But that is fucking huge.
Yeah, that's pretty big. No, I enjoyed it. But what I was trying to say is, coming from like such a macho kind of background, with acting, you had to be so vulnerable that I really it was really, really hard for me to kind of get to that area, get to that space. So I took a bunch of acting classes, and that's how I met Robert Russler, and he was a great teacher.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, because I always wanted to ask you about this, I never have. But when you were starting to skate and stuff, and you talked about it being this, tough sort of macho thing, right?
Yeah.
Were you ever fucked with, when you started? Did you ever have this thing like, I don't know, this self-doubt or something?
No, I wasn't, because skateboarding is such an independent sport. You can do it by yourself.
That's true.
So you don't need to be part of a team or any of that, part of a group. I could just do it in my garage. And so when I would go out in the public, I was just as good as like the best skateboarder at like the park or in our town or any of that. So it kind of gave me a little bit of respect and stuff. And even in school, like I was never like in like I was always kind of an outcast. Yeah. Skateboarders are outcasts, so we all just kind of hung out together. So, and if I did get fucked with, I would just kind of, I always made friends with like the biggest dude, just fucking
That's
made
smart.
him laugh.
Yeah.
And he would, protect me. Like not even me like telling him, hey, can you protect me? It was just like, they didn't want to see any of that.
What
shit.
about what you said town? What town?
I grew up in a lot of towns, man. My father was the executive chef. My stepfather was the executive chef for the Marriott Marquis.
Really?
So he got moved around a lot. Oh, yeah, we ate good growing up, man.
Yeah.
And we got moved around a lot. So he was a dude that would go, that would set up the kitchen, hire the staff, create the menu, get it going, and then get transferred somewhere else.
Wow.
So I went to like 5 different high schools. And then I went to like 3 different junior highs. So I was moving around a lot.
But that's got to be tough, because
it was
that, because I know how being the new kid, because I moved from Cleveland to Santa Monica, and that first year was fucking hell.
Oh yeah.
Because I was the kook from Cleveland with the hair part in the middle and the frosty tips. And,
Oh God.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you had okay.
And I didn't fit in here at all. Like it was in the 70s.
You didn't fit in with like the frosty tips.
No,
here?
no, not then, because
Okay.
It was just Dogtown, right?
Yeah, Dogtown. Yeah.
And you had to skate, surf, and I didn't do any of that. I just moved it from Cleveland, right? So I had to, you going to like 5 different schools had to be gnarly.
Yeah,
right?
it toughened you up though. Like I bet.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Coming from there to here and then. Yeah, no, it was gnarly. I always had to make new friends. Like my wife has lived in the same town her entire life.
Yeah.
Growing up with all friends that she went to kindergarten with. And so she can talk about like, yeah, me and Mallory or me and well, I forgot her other friend's name. I'm terrible with names, but she has these stories of like growing up with these kids from like childhood, and I don't have those kind of stories.
Right.
I don't remember like my kindergarten friends, like because we were only friends for a split minute and then I would move,
Did you so what was the longest and what was the shortest and the longest you'd be?
The longest
school?
I was like in junior high. I was in the longest was like junior high. And then
Where was that at?
It was in La Quinta, California.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I went from La Quinta, California to New Jersey
So how long were you in La Quinta?
for like 2 years.
So that's a lot of
Yeah.
time to make some friends and set down some
Yeah.
roots, and now you got to go.
Yeah,
And you got
it
to
was
go
hard.
to New Jersey.
Yeah, and all the way to the
Completely
East
fucking
Coast.
different.
Yeah.
And then what's that like?
It was different. It was the hard part was always being like the only little person in school ever,
Yeah.
that they ever saw. So the first few weeks were really tough. But once I started meeting friends,
Mm-hmm.
it was never like I never like got the shit beat out of me or any of that. But
You
like
never-
I
no,
did get bullied and fucked with a
You
lot.
did.
Yeah, until I met like my friends, like my skate group or
Yeah.
whatever. And I always stayed. I stayed out of that whole other circle of.
What about coming from La Quinta to New Jersey? Was there like, because I know I came from, then I went from Santa Monica to Morgantown, West Virginia.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you go, then you're like, I'm from LA, I'm the shit.
Oh.
Did you have that sort of?
No, it was La Quinta is like Palm Springs area.
Right, desert.
So I went from 120-degree weather to like all 4 seasons,
Right.
Like and brutal winters.
And were you skating then?
Yeah.
So you were able to use that to make friends.
I was able to use that to make friends, and also all the houses in the East Coast, a lot of them, have basements. Most of them all have basements.
Yeah.
And we lucked out. My dad like got a house that was right in New Jersey, like in Parsippany, New Jersey. And this house that we got had a huge basement with like ceilings like this, like tall
Yeah.
ceilings, because a lot of them aren't really tall ceilings. So I built all these ramps down there, and I had like a training
in the
facility
basement.
throughout the winter for me and all my buddies. So by the time spring came around and everybody else started skating again, because you couldn't skate throughout
Yeah.
the winter, and we didn't have skate parks, and the ones that were around were really far away. So when we would start skating again in the spring, we were just on the same level as California kids.
Well, dude, and
Yeah.
you know what's so great about what you're talking is you're the kid that had the ramp.
Yeah.
Like I grew up here in the 70s in Santa Monica. I always had a ramp.
Nice.
So if
like
you
a
were to-
half pipe or
No, quarter.
quarter pipe,
So we would
nice.
everywhere there was ramps all over Santa Monica
really
at the time.
cool.
Everybody was building ramps. And you would steal the wood from construction sites, build the ramp. And I had a ramp going up my apartment building that you could get and you could grind on the window. If you
Nice.
could reach it, right?
really? Wow, that's really cool.
And so you kind of had this sort of popularity, and you had that because
Yeah.
you were the kid that had a ramp.
No, yeah,
so
I
you
definitely.
get instant friends.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of friends because of that. But then once that year was over, like we moved.
So then you were just there for a year.
Yeah, I was there for a year, and then I moved to Puerto Rico. My dad got a job in Puerto Rico where the same thing, starting off the kitchen and stuff. But I was only there for like maybe 4 months.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I can speak Spanish. It's my first language.
So where were you born in Chile or?
Yeah, I was born in Santiago, Chile, and I moved to the States when I was like 7 years old. And I learned English actually in Hawaii. So I had like this really broken pidgin English. Like it was funny, man.
So wait, so then you're in Hawaii,
Yeah.
At what age?
7 through like 9 years old.
Dude, you've been everywhere.
Yeah, no, I've lived everywhere. And then when I became a professional skateboarder, I went even more places.
How did that go then? How did you get into the pros as a skater?
Well,
like what was your thing? Was it street skating, pools,
it
balls?
was street skating, but also I love transition a lot. Like, you know, I love like skating quarter pipes and you know, just mini ramps and stuff like that. And so I got into professional skateboarding because in Jersey, I was already like maybe 5 years into skating, and my Jersey buddies, so we had the basement and stuff skating, and my Jersey buddies, my buddy who's a big name in the professional skateboard world, Tim O'Connor, was like, "Hey man, you should film a sponsor me video," and I was like, "What is that?" Because you know I never thought of that. I just skated like for fun, and he's like, "Yeah, we have a camera. We'll just film each other every day." You know, for a few months, and then we'll have a friend edit the video, and then you just send it out to different companies, and then they sponsor you and they give you, you know, product for free. I'm like, really? Okay, let's do it. So not even thinking about it, we just started filming each other every day, and then along with some of my other buddies.
Buffy?
No, I'm good, man.
Okay.
And eventually, we had enough footage to make like a sponsor me tape for each of us, and I made a tape and sent it out to a bunch of different companies. And
who would you send it to? Like truck companies?
Yeah, I sent it out to World Industries, which was a board company. Then I sent it out to Thunder Trucks.
I remember Thunder Trucks.
Yeah, I sent it out to Think Skateboards. And then I sent it out to, I think, Spitfire Wheels.
Wow.
Spitfire Wheels. So what happened was...
Yeah, does somebody like...
So what happened was I got sponsored by World Industries first. That's the first company, which was good. They were sending me boards, and then that's when I got...
Is it only equipment then? So they're only sending boards?
Boards and wheels and shit like that. Shirts, whatever. And so I got sponsored by World for like a few months, and it was going well. And then that's when they sent Spike Jonze out to New York. Mm-hmm. Before Spike Jonze was like a big deal, he shot photos for Big Brother magazine,
right? And
I think for a couple other magazines. So they sent him out to New York City, and we met and we just shot pictures all day. And I ended up getting the cover. Like a couple months later, I got the cover of the Big Brother magazine.
Wow!
And then that's when me and Wee Man both had interviews in the magazine.
That's so cool,
and
right?
So what?
Did you know Wee Man yet or not?
I had no idea who he was or any of that, and I didn't meet him for a long time, even with that.
Was that pretty cool though? Where you go, wow, we got two little people that are fucking getting to skate together. I mean, you're doing something pretty big.
No, I didn't think of it like that at the time. You know, I wish I would have. You know, back in those times.
I mean, you know what I mean. You're trailblazing.
Yeah, no,
you're a fucking trailblazer.
Definitely, but like what happened was like the World Industries thing was like they're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a board company where it's just you and Wee Man, and then we're gonna try to sponsor a bunch of other handicap skaters and put them on the team, and you guys will be like the handicap kind of. And I was like, fuck that, you know. I was like, what? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I never kind of.
Are you serious?
Because I never skated for that, and I never thought of myself as that. So immediately I was like, I don't want. I'm not doing that. So I just fucking kind of quit.
Wait a minute, let me ask you something then, because like if they're saying that. You're not handicapped.
But right? Technically I am.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Why?
And the reason, because technically little people can't be in the army. They can't be in the military. Because you have to be at least 5 foot tall, and you got to be able to run carrying 125 pounds.
So that's speed. The determination when you're handicapped?
Well, our face is in the... We can't, like, contribute to... society in that way. Yeah, like we could never be drafted, which I think is a fucking plus. Yeah. But like totally. But like so wait a minute, that's kind of one of the reasons why. Our face is in the fire zone. My face is where your bulletproof vest would go, which is the most common place of getting shot. So that's one of the reasons. I don't know like the full logistics of why.
But you know what I mean? Because you go. That's the determining factor whether somebody's handicapped or not.
That's so what it was.
Which is fucking shocking though that they came and tried to pitch this to you.
Yeah. Well, which is shocking because back then I was like, no, hell no, I'm not that way. And now being older, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. I can park anywhere, you know?
Yeah. Right.
I can park at meters. I don't have to pay a cent. Like it's crazy. You can just leave your car in street parking, anything. I didn't know about this until later on in life. But with that said, while like I was quitting the team and I'm like, I'm not going to be a part of this fucking whole handicap weirdness thing. There was a huge East Coast competition going on in different parts of like New York and Jersey and stuff, and all the companies were there.
Yeah.
And it was right as this was happening, my magazine came out, my cover came out, and people. It was weird because I was at these competitions and people were looking at the covers and looking and going, oh, that's you, you know? And I never experienced anything.
What were you doing on the cover? What was the cover?
It was like a front side nose slide across like 20 feet, a 20-foot ledge. It was pretty nuts. And it was like in like 20-degree weather in New York. It was freezing cold. And so at that time, when I was at the competition and I was just watching all the pros skate, and then I would get to skate like, you know, when they had like when it was open. To like just the regular skateboarders, I would get to skate. And what happened was all those other companies that I sent my video to that never responded because they just saw the video. They don't get the video and watch it right away. They're like put on a stack of like, we'll get to it, you know?
Yeah.
But they got to my videos, and the guy, Ruben Orkin, who was the team manager of Thunder and Spitfire, came up to me. He's like, hey, dude, did you send a video like maybe like 6 months ago to us? Like, I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we just saw it and we fucking love you. We think you're badass. We would love to sponsor you. So right there, I got sponsored by Thunder and Spitfire. And then Greg Carroll, the team manager for Think Skateboards, was at that competition too with the whole Think team. And he's like, hey, the same thing. Did you send a video to us? Because we were about to get back to you, but like just getting to meet you personally, this is awesome. We would love to sponsor you if you're not sponsored by anybody else, like for skateboards. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So it kind of worked out for me. Yeah. Like, you know, like turning the world industry stuff, because I skated for Thing for like throughout my whole skate career.
And is there any point, like, I'm just curious, is there any point like where you're starting to make money as a skater? Are you able to support yourself?
No, not yet, because
so do you have to have a job?
I sold a bunch of all the, like the skate teams at the time that I skated for. They knew that like when you're an amateur skateboarder, you don't get paid. Mm-hmm. So what they do for their skateboarders is they give them. What
are you doing?
I'm good right now. They give them enough product to sell and make money off of it and make a living. And back when you're an amateur, you're like staying on friends' couches and stuff. You're grimy. You don't care.
So gnarly.
As long as you could just skate and have a place to live and have a little bit of money for food, you don't care.
Well, it's kind of fucked though, because I mean, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think people always think, like I always thought, like you got something. I thought you could live. You go, because when you're sponsored, right, when you're considered a professional.
Yeah. Well, no, it definitely does in some eyes, but in like the skateboard world, in the mainstream world, you're considered a professional. But in like the skateboard world,
I was trying to get out of here.
Yeah,
it didn't want to get eaten.
No,
did you see it roll over?
Yeah, it just rolled over. It didn't want to show you its goodness. But so they give you enough product to like be able to sell and make money off, and then also with all these companies. Like if you're getting, like that's why they give you stickers to put on your boards and stuff. And if you're constantly getting pictures in the mag, like if you get a cover on the magazine and you can see like a Volcom, I was sponsored by Volcom too. Wow. If you see a Volcom sticker on the board, on the board, if you get a cover, you got like $1,500. Okay. Like if you got
there's bonuses really.
Yeah. So you're getting all this extra money like that. So like that makes you hungry. Right, so you're like, where's the photographers? And Think always had their own personal photographers, and we were right next to Thrasher and Slap magazine. Right. So I got a lot of pictures in the mag and was able to make money off that.
Do you think it's still like that now, or do you think the price has gone up, or these guys are getting
I think it's like that
And you got to
now.
be really.
But and the price is definitely going up. Like, and plus now you got sponsors like Nike, you know, that are
Right.
probably just
What do you think about fucking awesome?
fucking awesome. I've honestly, like, I don't follow skateboarding as much as I should anymore. And I know that that's a skateboard team, but
Right.
I don't really. I think it's Anthony Van Engelen who runs the team.
I
I'm
know
not sure.
my buddy.
I think it's a fucking great name.
Mike Piscatelli's my buddy.
Okay.
He's one of the founders of it.
I think it's a great name.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Mike's supposed to be on here, but
I don't know about being able to get it in all the stores with a name like that, you know?
oh, his store's fucking huge.
Oh,
it's,
cool,
it's
cool.
really.
Like, I'm talking about like stores in like the Midwest that are like religious and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
That would
these are
never
like-
carry a board that says "fucking awesome" on it, you know? But
he knows, right?
Maybe I'm wrong, you
In
know?
Japan, but you know what I was going to ask you? So then you skated professionally for how long?
10 years.
That's a fucking long time. And then you got what, an injury?
No,
I mean, how'd you end up getting out of it? 'Cause you screwed up your back,
I
right?
screwed up my back, but it wasn't skateboarding.
Oh no.
Skateboarding just doesn't. You can only make a living out of it for so long,
Right.
Like, you know, like that shit wears and tears on your body.
Oh yeah.
And there's younger kids that are coming up, and that are willing to get paid less money
Yeah.
and do what you're doing and more, and so it makes it harder to keep up. You know,
Yeah.
like
And it's
as
just
you
like-
get older, like it just wears you down, man. And there's very few skateboarders like Tony Hawks and like Eric Cossins and people that are smart that had managers or agents that help them like kind of
Yeah.
grow as a brand instead of just a skateboarder where you
Right.
you can be able to maintain a living once skateboarding is like somewhat done.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying that any of these skateboarders are done, but they're not keeping up. It's hard physically to keep up with the skateboarders that are like 16, 17 years old now that are just like hungry
Yeah.
and fresh and just new and like,
Do you miss it ever?
oh, I miss it all the time.
bet.
You know, it was like some of the best times of my life. You know, I
It's
got
so-
to travel the world with some of my best friends. You know,
Yeah.
and meet with your forever friends. You know,
You know, it's funny. I grew up surfing and skating,
Yeah.
right? And Sunday, I had my buddy Jason Stores is on here. You remember where we shot the in front of the tattoo shop? He owns that shop. He's a great skater, right? And
wait, Jason, what's his name?
Stores.
Stores,
He's a tattoo artist. He owns
Okay.
that shop. But he when he was young, he was a great skater on his way to being a pro. And we were talking about it. I started skating again when he was born, skating with him, right? So I stopped for a long time, picked it up again because he was a kid,
Yeah.
and I got so obsessed with it again. It made me feel like I was young again, and I was just skating 4 hours a day. And there's something about it. And I grew up surfing, right? I always said, well, I'll surf my whole life because you can't get really hurt. Not if you fall, you hit the water, right? But Jason and I were talking about it, and he's a surfer, right? And I said, and somehow we got to the conversation, what do you like better, surfing or skating? And he was the first person that, because I knew inside there's something about skating that I like better than surfing. I don't know what it is. I have a love for skating more than surfing, and he's the first one that I've heard say that too. What is it for you that you miss it so much? What was it that?
It was just something that I could do alone and progress at, you know. And
Yeah,
there's
anytime you want.
Yeah, anytime I wanted. I mean, there was.
If you know, there's a meditative part to it, to skating. When you're in the fucking zone and you're just ripping tricks in a flow.
And just like learning something, figuring it out was like
over and over.
Such a great feeling, you know.
Yeah.
It's
There's like that
and it's
I don't know.
physics too, you know, like.
What do you mean?
Like when the board goes up,
Yeah.
like when you ollie, you bring your foot up and then you slide it up, and then the board will come up with you because you're jumping, and then it'll catch to your other foot. It's like Rodney, this skateboarder, one of the best skateboarders in the world, Rodney Moler, explains it really well, and he's a physician, and he always looked at skateboarding like physics kind of.
Right.
And, I was like, holy shit! Like,
But
I'm solving a math problem in my own head, like with my own, like body.
And it's like you said, it's something about it. You can do it alone. I remember going to, like, he would go, I'd take him to the park or whatever. He would go, his mom would come pick him up, and she'd go, let's go. And I'd go, I'm staying. And every time I'd stay for another 2 hours. So I'd be skating like 4 or 5 hours a day, right? And I was old even at the time. But there's something about when you get a trick, right? That's what I mean, the meditative part. You can't get it. You can keep working it and trying until you get it.
Yeah, and like
you know what I mean?
And there's a culture in it too. Like when you are with friends, like the way they push you, like the way like they're like, you got this, man.
And you're gonna do it
this.
for them.
I know you can do this.
Yes.
Just don't give up, dude. You got, you're so close. Just one more. You got this. And that like kind of support you don't really see too much,
Yeah.
I mean, you see it within like teams and stuff, like. But like with skateboarding being such an independent thing, like that feeling like felt really good.
I mean, surfing you're alone. Like when you paddle out, you could paddle out with friends, right? But you're off catching your wave. I'm gonna paddle this peak over here, catch that right, that left, and everybody kind of separates and you paddle back to the point or whatever, right? And you can't always control as easily what like I said, if you want to learn a trick in surfing, the waves got to be right too, right? Skating. You can set back and look at it and hit it again.
Yeah.
And hit it again and hit it again. And then you finally get it.
Yeah.
And I remember you'd always go, okay, I got to do it 3 times, right?
Yeah.
I got to make it 3 times in a row before I can move on to make sure I got it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's something unique about that.
Unless it's like a really, really gnarly trick where you learn it, you land it, you got the footage of it.
That's your
yeah, you got the photo of it. It looks great, Right. Like that's it. Right. I'm not fucking jumping down those stairs again. Ever.
You got it.
I got the evidence, dude.
So then how did you fuck up your back?
So that comes later on in life. I got broken ankles and wrists and stuff and through skateboarding and like. But like as far as like my back, I was in a really bad car accident like in my mid-30s, like 35. Like I was in a car. I used to get. I got to a point like after skateboarding, like right before I started finding acting, like that in between time where I didn't know, I was bummed. Like I was bummed that I like
depressed.
That I took skateboarding for granted.
So you had like kind of
a big depression.
Really?
And so I started drinking a lot and smoking weed a lot and just kind of, and then here in LA doing coke and shit. And it got really bad. And I was just I don't want to say I was hanging out with the wrong crowd, but it was a crowd that was a little hard for me to keep up with, And so I was blacking out all the time, and I feel like that was a way, like my way of numbing like the pain.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I never knew that about
numbing the pain. And so one night I got in my car after a nightclub. I'm surprised that the valet even gave me my keys because I wasn't able to walk. And I got in my car and my buddy was like, this is kind of funny, but like my buddy was like, hey dude, like you can't even stand. There's no way we're all going to get in the car with you. He's like, I'll drive your car. And he was fucked up too, but not as fucked up as I was. And so he got in my car and we started driving. I had a Dodge Charger, fully loaded. It was fucking fast, dude.
What year?
I think it was like a 2000, like.
Oh, so the newer one.
2009 or something. Like, and this was like in 2010.
Yeah.
And I had one of these cars and my buddy got into it, but my pedals.
Right,
he was like as tall as you.
Right, explain the pedals.
And he's like, look at your legs and go like this with your legs and look at mine. That's fucking funny. That's a big difference, dude.
Right.
And my pedal extensions are like this long.
Right.
So he was basically driving my car.
How?
Like with his knees up by his fucking chin. And like, driving is all just footwork, It's footwork. And so when you're driving like that, it's hard to like just use your toes, you know, like
Right.
we went around a turn, and instead of like braking, he gassed it around this turn with his whole leg, and he drove my fucking car into a furniture store.
What?
We were faded, dude. And my buddy was in the back, like snorting lines and shit. Like, it was terrible, man. Like, and like they ran. They made sure I was okay.
And then they ran?
And they ran. They left.
They fucking left you in there?
Yeah, but they made sure. And the only thing that saved me was that I had a fucking seatbelt mark on the passenger side of because I was in the passenger's. Otherwise, I would have got arrested and probably put in jail for a really long time. But the only thing that saved me was I had this huge mark. And then TMZ showed up.
Wait.
Thought I was fucking Wee Man or Tyrion Lannister. Like, they're like, the cops were like, can we get your autograph? My son loves you. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I had one shoe on because the other shoe like got blasted out of the car. Like, it was terrible. And after that is
so you didn't get hurt, but you're back.
I didn't
right?
get hurt. I think I was so in shock that, you know, when you sometimes they say you crash, that your body, and you're drunk, your body goes so in shock that you don't you don't get hurt.
You're loose.
You're loose because you're loose. And
Relax.
I guess I was loose and relaxed, but not relaxed enough, because a few months later, like, I coughed wrong in the shower and I just felt something pop in my back, like really bad.
Yeah.
And then the pain went down to my leg, and then like within like a week, both of my legs were completely numb. I couldn't feel my feet.
Wow, the
and I didn't know
sciatica.
what was going on, because, you know, it was like already 2 months afterwards. I'm like, this can't be from the accident. This is weird. And sure enough, I went to the doctor, and he said that my spine was fully compressed against like my L4 and L5 were like pressing against my nerves.
Yeah.
And so they had to do like a lumbar laminectomy surgery.
What's that?
It's like they shave off a little bit
Okay.
of like your bone
Yeah.
to make it so it's not pressing against your nerves, but it didn't work because little people's spines are different than like the regular spines that they're used to working on. I really couldn't tell you.
Because your torso's the same as mine.
Yeah, we got the same torso. I don't know. Maybe I have no. I never kind of went into that.
But wait, I can't believe they fucking listen.
I never get in trouble.
left
It was
you
a
there.
huge fine, and my buddy paid half of it.
You know, it's funny. Just to be fair, that I had a buddy, my friend's older brother, who's actually not much taller than you. How tall are you?
4'6".
He's 5. He was. Well, no, he was. I think he was 4'11".
Okay.
And he never wanted to drive. And part of it was his size, because he was very small, right? And we were both drunk, hammered drunk. And I kept trying to always teach him how to drive. And he'd go, no, I don't want to drive. And one night we were wasted. And I convinced him. And I used to have this big 1959 Chrysler, huge car with these giant fins, right? And I was just fixing it up, got it all bondoed out, re-chromed, getting it ready to go for paint. And he finally goes, I'll drive. You can teach me to drive. So we slide over. We're coming down Santa Monica Boulevard. We're both wasted. He sees a cop and he panics because he doesn't have his license. And he somehow froze with the wheel like this, turning left. And all of a sudden he starts to drift past the cop. And I go, let go of the wheel, let go of the wheel, let go of the wheel. And he was so locked in to fear that I was fighting him to turn the wheel. And he was just going like this, with his foot on the gas.
Oh, what?
And we made this fast, sharp left and crashed into McDonald's on 26 Santa Monica Boulevard. Ran the sign over, and the car was stuck, right? On top of the sign. And my head slammed into the dash, and I was bleeding and kind of unconscious, right? And I was like this in the car. And all of a sudden, I was starting to come around, and I heard these two paramedics pulled up, and they go, hey, buddy, are you all right? And I'm like, what? And they go, where's the driver? And I look over.
Bounced? He panicked, dude.
He panicked.
Sometimes I think that's kind of just what happens. You know, like
he took, and all of a sudden I go, I'm the driver. They go, no. They go, don't move. I go, no. I go, I'm the driver. They go, no, you're not. And I quickly slid over and gunned it off the sun. And peeled out off the side, and just.
Oh, did you ever find your buddy?
Yeah, I parked in front of his fucking house.
Were you like, what the fuck, dude? You know what's crazy is that night that we crashed, because I lived around there, and the night we crashed, it was like.
You mean around where you crashed? You live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, it was off of Oakshire going up Cahuenga Pass.
Yeah.
We made this sharp left, fucking gunned it, and right there was like a big street light right there.
Yeah.
Street light, big pole, huge pole. And then there's a store. It's like literally like a 10-foot opening.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a 15-foot opening. And then there's a store, big glass window and whatever. And then right next to it is a bus stop. And there was someone waiting at the bus. So basically, we went right down the middle.
Oh, wow.
If we would have wrapped around that pole, we would have both died going, 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And if we would have gone a little bit to the right, we would have killed somebody.
Yeah.
And I possibly would have been in jail still, you know? And living with that whole fucking thing of like.
You talked about you were in depression, and you were drinking and doing blow and all this other shit. If you don't mind me asking, how are you not doing that, or are you still doing that?
It was a huge. Oh, I'm doing it big time.
Because you made it. You figured it out.
Because I figured out how to get away with it, dude.
Yeah.
So if you move this plate, we could do some blow right now. No. It was a big reality check for me. It was
really?
a life changer for me, and especially after the back surgery and stuff, I kind of had to figure out. So I slowly stopped drinking.
Mm-hmm. So you don't drink?
No, I don't drink at all.
Wow.
And then I
didn't
stopped.
know that.
And what was crazy about it is the only time I did blow was when I drank.
Yeah, right.
When I was sober, it was disgusting to me.
Yeah.
But as soon as I had a few beers in me, I'm like, where is the 8-ball?
Yeah, right.
And so I realizing that, like, once I slowed down on drinking, the blow was out of the picture.
Yeah.
And then I kept smoking weed, and it got to the point where, like, I realized, like, this is the reason I never did AA. I did it when I was doing, like, when you get a DUI and all that, you have to do the AA stuff.
Oh, but so you got a DUI for that accident?
I got a DUI before that accident.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're experienced. You're an experienced drunk driver.
I'm not experienced enough if I'm getting DUIs, dude.
Bro.
And so I realized I got married,
mm-hmm.
and then my wife drinks, but not heavily or any of that. And I realized that, like, I never liked the taste of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe like a rum and Coke.
How about the effect?
I was just like searching for the effect.
Yeah.
I drank to get smashed.
Yeah.
You know, I drank to do Coke. I drank for all the worst reasons. And in realizing that, I was like, I don't like the taste. Like, why do I do it? And then once I realized that, I was like, I stopped drinking, and I just stopped one day. And yes, I never drank again.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I never did. And I have so much respect for the people that do it the AA way and all that. I just didn't feel like that was necessary for me at the time. Yeah. Like I felt like I could do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I was able to do it. And then I quit smoking weed. So I've been kind of sober, fully sober for probably 10 years.
That's fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah, and do I miss it? Fuck yeah.
You do.
I had so much fun.
Right.
You're waking up next to someone you don't even know. Right. Could be a chick, could be a dude. You don't give a shit, you know? Like how did I get here? Let's do it again tonight. But like now it's like, you know, like I think I learned, I'm pretty sure, I know I learned from all that.
Yeah.
You know, and I learned that it wasn't, there was a time for it, and I experienced it, and I don't need to do it anymore. You know,
it's incredible. That's pretty rare. You don't come. I mean, me. I've been sober for 34 years, and I've rarely come across someone, you know, like you that's was able to do that without some sort of A 12-step program. That's incredible. Let me ask you this then. So
I think it's because I don't miss the taste. I just miss the
obsession.
The experience of it, you know?
So then, did your life change when you stopped?
Yeah. I was able to like, kind of like, with everything, I was able to like fully dream again, you know,
and what were those dreams?
Like dreams of like I used to have dreams where like I would be watching people skate, you know, because I couldn't skateboard anymore. So I'd just be watching people skate, you know, I'd be watching people do
so you're saying like
what I love, and I felt like I wasn't like able to do it, like in my dream even.
Right.
And once I stopped doing that, I was able to have dreams where I was like skateboarding with everyone and like doing everything I used to do.
Wow.
You know, and that was like, I know it sounds corny, but it like really meant like a lot to me, because like it's like when you were having dreams like that of something that you used to do professionally and every day, it's almost like you're in jail.
Well, it's almost like if you're starting to have those dreams again like that, right? It's almost like you're in acceptance.
Yeah.
There's a certain surrender and acceptance of your circumstances.
Yeah.
And there's also, it sounds to me like, I don't know, like there's a bit of gratitude.
Absolutely.
You know, in that.
There's gratitude, but then like I feel like every like thing I choose to do, it's always such a struggle.
Like what?
Like with acting, per se, right? Or even with stand-up comedy, what I'm experiencing now, and I fucking love it. And it's almost a fuel, this struggle, but like I talk about it. I've talked about it before, and even Brad Williams, the comic, talks about like there can only be one that does it. Like,
what do you mean?
Like with acting, like there's only one actor out there that's a little person that gets every job. Like that gets every job.
Who would that be? Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage.
Right.
There's no like support. Like we don't have a support system for each other because there's just not enough of us. Like there was a time like with Asians, or like, I don't know why I just pointed to the like this. like I'm trying to make a point. I could just say it. Like with Asians or the black community, the Indian community, they all have a support system where like once diversity got big, like everyone started getting roles. With little people, it's not like that. It's like there's only one, and that's Peter Dinklage, and he doesn't bring anyone up with him. Like he can like, and so that fight is hard because like even with the industry is just they're like, oh, he's the only good one, and I'm like, that's bullshit.
Do you think he should bring? Do you think he should?
Absolutely.
Right.
What's better than one midget too? How would he do
that though? How would he do that? I'm just curious. How do you think he should do that if he could, or if he would?
I mean, he could write something. Or he could encourage it more. You know.
Do you know when I was talking with somebody about sort of Hollywood, right? When you ask people for favors in Hollywood, oh, can you connect me to so and so, or can you, even like the podcast. I know if people ask me, people have asked me because I'm friends with Josh Brolin or Danny Trejo or Wee Man, right? Can you hook me up with them? You want to say yes, and they're asking something. At the same time, you're kind of going, that's my chip I'm giving away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like it feels like there's this, you might need a favor. Do you know what I mean? And if you're Peter Dinklage, I wonder if there would be this insecurity or this fear of, like you said, there's only one role, right? There's not many roles, right? But if you're Peter Dinklage, are you giving away? You know what I mean?
I mean, but there could be, like,
I agree.
Like they did the remake of, and I'm not one of those bitter dwarves that's like, oh, they didn't use dwarves and Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, but at the same time, because of the stupid comment he made, like it kind of turned the other way, where he said, you're trying to be progressive and hire a Latina Snow White, but then you're keeping the dwarves in there that they live in caves and stuff. And I think what he really meant is like, you can be progressive with dwarves too. You can keep them dwarves, but like they don't have to live in caves or be this kind of fairy tale aspect. And I'm like, but it is a fairy tale. That's what it is. And so the industry took it. We're like, okay, fuck, like that's PC. We can't use dwarves no more. So they animated them. And what happens
They took
with
away all
that
the
is
jobs.
what could have been 7 jobs, what could have been 21 jobs essentially.
Yeah.
Because 7 dwarves.
Yeah.
7 stunt doubles. I haven't seen the movie. I don't really know if they do stunts. I'm just kind of going with like when you shoot these big blockbusters, 7 stunt doubles and then 7 stand-ins.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of jobs that like could have potentially gone to people that could have made a good chunk of money and not have it be this fucking stupid woke progressive like bullshit that flopped. And not just because they didn't hire dwarves, not even that, but like, you know, the woman that plays Snow White kind of made herself look really bad, and the movie did terribly.
Oh, right.
So,
I didn't see the movie.
Yeah,
but
I didn't see it either. But that's
about.
like, that's kind of like one of the things. And I know that it wasn't his fault, but like the industry goes with what he says because he, like Brad Williams says, is the midget of the moment.
Yeah, I was talking about him last night, actually, Peter Dinklage, because he seems to be somebody who's been able to, which is a huge deal, like you in skateboarding and Wee Man in skateboarding. Peter Dinklage has been able to cross that line into the world where he's not just playing a dwarf. He can be, he can play any part he wants.
Absolutely.
Really. He's not like, oh, there's a script and we're looking for a dwarf. There's a script for this character. Hey, what about Peter Dinklage?
And he's doing great movies, and he's a fucking amazing actor, which is the part that, like, you know, like kind of hurts because it doesn't hurt, but it's just like at least the person they're choosing to put out in the spotlight is making us look good, you know?
He is.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's not
he
really
could help us out
helping.
Some more.
Like, I thought, like, when he won awards and stuff, like, I think it was an Emmy or something for Game of Thrones. He's actually the only actor from Game of Thrones that ever won an award in the 10 years.
Which is amazing.
Which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, when he won, I felt like I won. You know what I mean? Because I was like, shit, the gates are opening now.
Yes.
The gates are opening. And nothing. And so that part hurts.
And I think it's because of exactly what you just said, right? It's like the whole woke pendulum swung so far. And who would be the one that would take that away from you? Let's say are there other little people that said, oh, we don't want to play these roles?
No, I actually have a few friends.
Or do you think that most of the community is
LPA
like, fuck
is
it?
very, LPA is Little People of America.
Right.
Like they're big supporters of the Little People community. They have these conventions every year in different cities.
Yeah.
I was never a part of it.
Yeah.
But like their congregation and stuff is very against little people playing demeaning roles.
Oh, it is?
Like no elves, no fucking leprechauns, no this. But it's like, you can speak for you.
Exactly.
You can't speak for everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that I want to play these roles, but the roles for little people as an actor are very scarce. So if something comes up that's good, that's fun, that's got good writing, that's going to pay a good chunk of money, fuck, dude, don't discourage people from doing it or make it like a big deal.
Right.
Because it's not. They've been doing it for years.
Yes, don't speak for me.
Yeah, don't speak for me. Don't speak for anybody. Speak for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it's true. I mean, I guess there is something about it when you're also kind of separating yourself. Instead of saying like, Peter Dinklage, you don't look at him as a little person. He's an actor. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
You're not like, to me, I don't look at you and go, you're a little person skateboarder. You're a skateboarder. You're a pro skateboarder. Wee Man's a pro skateboarder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So there is that, you know, I think when you're doing like what that organization is doing, you're kind of pulling, you're kind of separating yourself from like I said, somebody like Peter Dinklage. He crossed that line, dude. He's just a fucking actor.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. You know.
No, absolutely.
Which brings me to you as an actor. How did you break into film then?
Honestly,
like how did you get into acting? What made you get into acting?
Well, I mean, like I was saying earlier, that was one of the other arts that's kind of hard to like. There's lots of opportunities. At one point, there was a lot of opportunities out here where it didn't take schooling to like, to make it here in Los Angeles.
Right.
Like I had little people friends that did one Christmas commercial a year, and it was a national and made $100,000 off of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
a lot of times little people were like searching for that and getting that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once it started becoming how it is now, where now it's like they have you playing an elf instead of a little person,
Right.
which is fine. But that's their way of making it so they don't get in trouble with or PC with the little people community or whatever, because they don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, if a little person chooses to do that, they're a grown man. Technically, like, they can do it, like, you made that choice, you did it, you're fucking laughing your way to the bank. But when it's this other way around and other people are like kind of navigating your career and they don't want, it just sucks, like,
Yeah.
do I want to play a lawyer? Yeah. Do I want to play a fucking, like, a dad? Yeah. Do I want to play a normal person? Fuck yeah, man. I'll eat that up. But, like, sometimes those roles aren't around.
Well, it's funny too, is we're on that subject, and so much of this is about that pendulum swing, and as an actor, there's things you just can't do anymore. Like I forget exactly what the wording was. I remember Tom Hanks talking in an interview about how he could never play the role that he won an Oscar for in Philadelphia, as a gay man, right?
But it's acting.
Exactly.
It's kind
You
of
just
what
said
it's
it.
always been.
It's acting, and somehow it's like it's become sort of this reality. You can't play that because you don't know what it's like to walk in my shoes. Well, I know that it's acting. Yeah. I do research on playing a character.
And at the end of the day, you're right. It's acting. So, like, why would people get discouraged about that? And there's two sides of everything, but, like, I think when you're changing it completely to change, like, the physical appearance of making you shorter, when they could easily just CGIing you and making you a tiny man like me, when they can easily just hire a little person that's a great actor to do it, that to me is a fucking, like, huge kick to the nuts. Yeah. And it's very disappointing.
But what's funny though is I see someone like you. I find I really wanted you on here is I think that someone like you is actually leading the charge, because even though you said, "Oh, it wasn't bad. I didn't get picked on when I was a kid and stuff like that," the most amazing and Jason.
Oh, I did get picked on. I just didn't get the shit beat out of me.
You didn't. But what I was gonna say was, which even makes your story gnarlier, because if anybody knows what it's like to be new, we all want to fit in. We all want to fit in and be loved, right? And not only were you a little person, but you were like, fuck it, and you got pulled to 5 different schools. Somehow, you've been able to cross over into being a professional skateboarder, which is a huge mountain to climb, even if you're somebody like their size or my size, right? You're able to do that, and then you get to cross over, and your credits as an actor. Like, when I found you, dude, Robert said, he goes, this dude's an actor. And when you came, and we were making jokes about it, but you're a fucking actor. And there's something to be said, I think, for anybody to learn that's watching. Why I wanted you on here was, you're an inspiration. You have an inspirational story of somebody who's able to, against the odds, fucking get over that wall no matter what. And if looking at yourself, and if you had any advice, because I love to get into, like, how did you do it? How were you able to do that?
I think.
What is it that keeps you going, that keeps you getting over that wall?
I think I owe it all to skateboarding, in a sense that it was a discipline that.
What the fuck is that?
Is that your wife doing that on purpose?
What is that? Go on.
Better go give that person an eviction notice.
That's right.
I think it's the discipline I learned from skateboarding of not giving up, like what we were talking about earlier.
Right.
It's like
persistence.
It's not persistence, not giving up. keep going, determination. You know, I think that I applied that same discipline to like pretty much everything I do, even like with stand-up comedy, like and with acting, you know, and just keep going. And a doctor can't just be a doctor out of nowhere. You know, he has to go to school for a long time. He's got to get training for it. I feel like I know that. And the same thing with me. I couldn't just be a good skateboarder. I had to practice every day, 8 hours a day. Like, you know, like just beat on, beat on myself. Like just keep pushing, keep going, learning, progression, keeping up, you know, not being looked at as different.
But how do you do that? How do you come back every day?
You have to love something.
Exactly. Yes.
You have to love something. Like with skateboarding, I think for me was I did it and I fell in love with it, but I also was going to do it whether I was getting paid or not. So when my friends were like, sponsor me, they get you this, they get you that. I'm like, really? I didn't know that because I was already happy. But that would make that would definitely help. You know, all that shit is expensive.
So then did you find a love for acting?
I did. I found a love for acting. Like it was like the skateboard door closed and then the acting one opened. And once I started doing these classes and stuff, because you know, you're not booking, you're not working unless you're booking stuff. So with the classes, it made me feel like I was part of something. And I had this addiction of like wanting to be able to know how to cry on the moment, wanting to be able to get violent, right? Wanting to like really dig up what I had inside, you know, that like to be able to put it out on the screen and just be truthful, you know?
Truthful. See, that's
kind of like what it was with acting for me, like that addiction, you know?
Yeah. What about comedy as a comic?
Stand-up comedy is just like, I've always made people laugh, but there's like a formula to it, you know?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like, there's a formula to comedy and movies. There's a timing to it. With stand-up, there's a different formula. It's a setup, punchline.
Do you love it?
I fucking love it, man. I really love it. I love making people laugh. It's like my high now, you know? Being able to make people laugh gets me high, you know? Makes me feel better about like just where I'm at in my life, where I'm at in my career, you know? And yeah, that's it. There's just a love, but it's so hard.
What's hard about it?
Like, not everybody's gonna like you.
Right. So what we were talking,
and so that is a hard thing to take in, because when you're out there, you want to make everybody laugh, and then there's a group that's not laughing. There's girls that aren't laughing because your jokes cater to the bros, you know. Right. You know, like the dick jokes, fart jokes, whatever, you know, that the bros are laughing, but the girls are like, you know, and you can see it and you're just like, oh, whatever, just go clean. You know, they don't like you even more, you know, but you want everybody to like you, and it's just not going to happen. And it's a hard thing to accept, because you're like, okay, do I start writing jokes? I get in my head, I'm like, I got to write jokes where I cater to everybody, not just the bros or this or that. And I'm like, but that's not my experience. You know, my experience, so, I speak from my experiences. Some of it might be jokey, but a lot of it is just what I've experienced, what my friends tell me from their eyes, like, you know, and that shit's funny to me, you know. It's funny how naive people can be. It's funny how people can be so like trying to be so PC that they're even more fucking, they sound even more shitty, you know? Like, you know, you're like, just say it. Who gives a shit? I don't care, you know? Like, you don't, but like, so trying to cater to a huge audience, that's a hard part. And then also fighting that stigma of like, you know, like, now it's like I'm auditioning for all different nightclubs and stuff, because they have their auditions on certain days. You go and audition, and there's like 250 different comedians that you're kind of auditioning against, but we're all different. Yeah, we all got a different story, you know. But then you're auditioning for people. Like I auditioned for Flappers, and the guy at Flappers was like, and this was a while ago, but one of the things he told me was like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to sound rude, but all I got to say is you look and you sound like Brad Williams, who's like the biggest little person comedian out there right now. You look and sound like Brad Williams. To me, I'm like, okay, I can't change the way I look, you know?
Yeah.
But am I stealing this guy's jokes? Like, without knowing that I'm stealing them? So I went back and like kind of looked up all his specials and stuff. I'm like, okay, he's got a Peter Dinklage joke. Okay. He's got a Game of Thrones. I got those jokes too, but that's my experience. You know how many times I fucking get out of my car and tourists are like, oh my God, it's Peter Dinklage. Holy shit. Holy fuck. Like, Tyrion Lannister. Like, you know, like, I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? Like, what's going on, you know, or like anything. So that is my experience as well. So why can't I talk about it? Why can only one person? It's Jewish people. All Jewish comedians talk about, not all of them, but a lot of them talk about growing up, bar mitzvahs and this and that. Black people talk about barbecues and
you know
fucking the hood and shit. It's like, why can't I talk about like my real experience?
You know what your real experience is? I just thought of this. You should go on stage and introduce yourself as Brad Williams. And you just fucking hold it.
I'm the Temu version of Brad Williams.
You just, that's because his is Peter Dinklage. Your experience is Brad Williams.
In comedy, yeah.
It is.
So but it's fun because me and him talk sometimes, and he's mentored me. He's very, very kind. He's like the only little person that's been kind to me.
I met him once at the
about
Comedy
stand-up
Store.
comedy.
Yeah.
And he's been a huge mentor as far as like, listen, talk about talk about skateboarding, talk about me being married to a tall woman, you know, like talk about, you know, and so he's helped me in things like that because, and the things that he's been told, you know, from like maybe doing jokes. Sometimes, you know, with your own experience, like I think with the jokes, it only caters to a certain audience, which what we were talking about before, but my audience isn't there. No little people go to watch stand-up comedy, you know, so my audience could only cater to that.
Yeah.
So I need to learn how to build my jokes to cater to everybody's experience. For my skateboarding experience to be the same thing as like when you got injured playing football. That could draw up a memory like that, you know? And then, because I've had dudes come up to me and be like, yo, man, when you were talking about getting injured and how skateboarding, you couldn't do it no more, it fucking totally made me feel like, you know, like when I got injured football, I was like in the position about to be pro.
Relatable.
And it was very relatable to me. Like, thank you for that. You know, so things like that, when I can do the jokes like that, that I think hits harder. And that's not an easy thing to do.
Dude, but everything you're doing, if you think about it, everything you're doing is in the limelight. Everything you've done has been in the limelight, which to me says that you're very comfortable in your own skin. You're very comfortable with who you are for the most part. We all get self-conscious, I think. But to be an actor, to be a professional skateboarder, you know, now to be a comic, you're really being vulnerable, and if you're vulnerable to me, that means you're very comfortable in your own skin. So we're about out of time. I'd love for you to, if you have anything that you could say that could help me or anybody go, how are you able to stay comfortable in your own skin and not up here? What is it? Is there anything that's your go-to that you know what I mean? Sort of an advice that you have, because it's a big deal.
I mean, I think for me, honestly, and this doesn't cater to everybody, but it might cater to you. I think it's sobriety. Wow. Being able to have a clear head, you know, being able to count on only myself, you know, count on myself for my art, you know, and be comfortable with who I am, like you're saying, and be confident, but also like know that I'm enough, you know?
Yeah.
I am enough.
I love that. I'm enough.
Because back when I was smoking weed, doing coke, drinking, that's what I needed to be like the funny guy or like what... You know what I'm talking about? To be like, you know, like the center of attention or whatever. Like, damn, Pancho's crazy.
Right.
You know, like... But like now, like I it took me a while to get this, you know?
Yeah.
But to feel this comfortable in my own skin. But it's just knowing that you're enough, you know.
Dude, I think you're fucking amazing.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm serious.
Appreciate it.
And I'm so glad to have you as a friend. I mean, I'm telling you, what I said, I mean it. You've been in the spotlight. You've crossed all these fucking barriers to get here. And I just think it's a tremendous achievement that this sort of, you know, you as an artist, as a comic, and where are you doing stand-up right now? Is there anywhere we can go see you right now?
I'm doing it. You can catch me at the Improv at the Laugh Factory.
Jeez.
Yeah, I just did a recording because at the Laugh Factory every Tuesday they have these audition mics where you have to do 2 minutes of clean material, and if they like you, they'll bring you back and you'll do 3 minutes and then 4 minutes and then 5 minutes. But after you do your first set of clean material, you don't have to do clean material anymore. You can do whatever you want. And I got like six callbacks to that, and I ended up getting a showcase out of it. But the showcase was what these clubs are doing now is for their comedians is they're doing at least the Laugh Factory is they're doing like a short form 10-minute comedy special.
Okay.
You know, so me and like six other comedians did like a show the other night where they recorded our sets professionally, like three different cameras in there, recorded the audience. It was a sold out show, and I got paid $500 to do it.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really happen in stand-up
that's
comedy,
right.
you know, like at least not in LA.
Dude.
And so now like they're gonna be releasing like, you know, like our special, but also as clips as well.
Oh, that's
you
awesome.
know, like on the Laugh Factory thing, which to me is a pretty big deal because I've worked really, really, really hard for it, man. Like it's you're going up against a lot of people all the time, and you got to be funny.
Where are you going to be again?
Laugh Factory, the Improv,
Laugh Factory, Improv,
Ha-Ha's, you know,
Ha-Ha's.
Yeah, and then I'll just be going around the U.S.
Go look for my friend Pancho Moler.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He's got some films coming out.
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of films coming out.
Name a few of them.
Stiletto, The Highest Stakes, The Gunfight. The Last Gunfight is already out on Paramount. Infernal, which is a horror comedy, which it's going to be really funny. Like, I think. And Brute 1986, which is like a kind of like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre style movie. Slasher film.
Awesome.
It's an homage to slasher films. I think it'll be great.
Dude, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, man.
My friend. Yeah. Pancho Moler.
Hell yeah.
Another savory conversation.
Woo.
Aloha.